messing around.
Oh my goodness. We are back.
Pew, pew, pew,
With
pew,
a-
pew, pew, pew. Yeah.
No, you don't know. You don't know. So I do a lot of these loft meetings, and I'm always like, loft meeting. Pew, pew, pew. And then my mom calls me and goes, your enthusiasm with it's a lot. And I'm like, I know. I don't know why I have to do air horns every single time, but I can't help it. And I just genuinely felt like that was my own thing. And you just did it. And I feel so much better.
Hannah, it's because you used to party a lot. You used to party
Yeah,
a lot.
right.
You were in Ibiza? Is that how it's pronounced?
Never
Ibiza?
been. Never
Sure,
been.
sure.
Never
Sure.
been.
Hannah, stop
Have
it.
you been?
No,
Oh, well, we both never been.
I don't buy you haven't been because you used to live near there.
Yeah, but I've never been because you know why?
What?
In Cyprus, they have Ayia Napa, and Ayia Napa is
It's better?
basically the same. There is no need to go to Spain for it.
Well, I
You can
just
get those
assumed.
giant fish bowls and those Euro DJs doing just fine.
Yeah.
in Ayia
I'm not
Napa.
a fan of the Euro DJ stuff.
Really?
It just seems because every time I go and do something similar to that, it just becomes a hassle.
What are you talking about? A hassle? What's a hassle? Who's hassling you?
Just like getting a table, getting
Oh.
a drink. If I want to go grab a drink,
Oh.
it's gonna be like, here we go. Looks like I gotta show my tits again just to get a free drink. And I'm like, I don't want to have to go through all that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be
It's
able to
hard
sit
for
down,
you.
jazz, smooth. Like, give me like a smooth jazz night. Give me like a.
By
you
the
know.
way, I'm with you. I will go to a jazz night. Here's my question. Why do the steps always have to go down to get there? I don't like being underground. And so
Because
why?
because back in the day, you know what I mean. In order to jazz was outlawed, so they had to play it in the shadows and in the bowels of
In the
places.
cellars.
In the cellars, because jazz is a black music form, right? And so we weren't allowed to be celebratory, so we had to go hide
In the cellars.
and lurk. You know what I mean? In that juke joint, a little jazz night. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
I don't know if any of that's accurate of the why. It could just be like a real estate
I
thing.
like how you're trying to be like a music historian right now. Let me tell you about the origin.
Speaking
the
of
jazz
jazz.
Speaking of jazz, season 4. Season 4 is here. And I remember when we kicked off this season, and I truly feel like it's when New Girl fully embraced and fell into its groove. Like we
Yes.
truly now knew who our characters were. We had full permission. Schmidt and Cece are like back on in their
Mhm.
own way. Like all, Nick and Jess are back into their will they, won't they? Winston's got a job. That's nice.
Yeah, it's so fucked up that he didn't have one.
That's right. And so also all the things I feel like they had such a strong start to this episode, and it was so fun to rewatch. I remember where we shot it because we shot it down by MacArthur Park
Yeah.
in that building that we used the rooftop
Always
for.
the rooftop for you.
Yeah.
And we used your wedding for it too?
Yeah, they used the CC Shivrang wedding for it too.
Where did
Bollywood
I-
dance. You're talking about the
Bollywood dance.
Bollywood dance.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we used that when my mom comes and everything.
Mhm.
We used that building a lot. Crash was also filmed there.
Mm-hmm. That's right. The movie Crash.
But yeah, I remember for the first time feeling really safe and confident in the job, in the show. It was a huge hit. Everybody loved it. We'd had the Golden Globe noms, I think, at that point. And so we were just like, oh, like we have a job and we can like just fully fall into this thing now. And it was a lot more comfortable. Season 4 is great.
Oh, yeah. And then we were picking up too because our guest star game.
Oh my gosh.
Man, Reid, Scott, Jessica, Biel. Oh my gosh. This episode, we clicked immediately on this episode.
They just went and grabbed all the most good looking people. They're like, we'll take the most good looking man and the most good looking woman and put them in the season premiere.
No, I've always been on the show.
You and me both, bro. Okay, so Jessica and Reid joined too.
Yeah, they added to the sexiness. Thank you for that.
It was also really cool because our beloved Trent O'Donnell, who guided so much of New Girl on set every day, got to direct the season premiere, which is a big deal. And J.J. Philbin wrote it, who is one of the greats. Yeah, man, what a great episode. All right, give us the rundown.
Okay, so here we go. In this episode, the gang all agree to attend the last wedding of the summer for one reason and one reason only: sex. As Jess puts it, sex fist, which we've all been there. Schmidt learns Cece is single. Nick agrees to a foursome. Winston ices his injuries. Coach gets called out by her grandma, and Jess competes with a super impressive cat, aka Jessica Biel, for the attention of the best man, aka Reid Scott. Let's go to a quick break. As you stated before we went to break, we've got Trent O'Donnell manning the ship, and then we have JJ Philbin, who penned this thing right on up, so you know it's going to be a great episode.
Yeah.
Shall we dive in?
Let's dive in. I feel like, let's just say this off the bat, because they talk about how they've gone to like 11 weddings this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you are that person because you're a shower upper. So you have gone to a ton of weddings, I feel like.
A lot of weddings. I just came back from one.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like I've gone to 3 in my life, including my mom's.
Yours, your mom's.
It was at my mom's wedding. I feel like I've gone to 3 or 4 in my entire life.
And are you married?
Yeah. That's 2.
Did you go? That's what I'm saying.
I showed up. You know what's crazy is that I don't know what it is. It's exactly the situation. There was like 2 years where it was like 20 weddings a year.
Mm-hmm.
Something crazy. Everybody got married. People were like doing big guest lists. So it wasn't like just close friends. It was like,
you remember what year this was?
Yeah, New Girl.
No, I'm saying when everybody, you talking about during the filming of this, all these people started getting married in real life.
In real life. My
what
friends
year?
and
this
friends
was 2013. This is 2014. That was the emergence of Trey Songz. Emergence of Trey Songz.
The Luther Vandross of our generation.
Once he started going, then the panties came off. The babies were making. Yes, so he has to
invite
do this
the
the right way. That's right.
And so my way of dealing with it is because I didn't want to like show up to so-and-so's wedding and not to anyone else's, is that I would just say like I'm working, and I didn't go to anyone's weddings because I was so worried about someone's feelings getting hurt that I could go to one person's and not the others.
Right.
But because of that, I went to no one's weddings. And in retrospect, that's also crazy.
It is crazy, Hannah. Yeah. I mean, weddings are quick, right? The ceremony itself is not too long. It's the festivities following the ceremony, which takes a while because it's speeches, it's dinner, it's dancing, it's fun. But sometimes
it's like locations. Like you got to go like when you get married, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep it in LA? Are you going to like be on some like island we'll have to fly to?
It's whatever she wants to do. Like I'm easy. I actually I'm not a marriage person, to be quite honest with you. I don't see it happening for me, but I'm not opposed to it.
You would have the best wedding.
I mean, maybe if I could like stay awake through the whole thing, but like, weddings are cool when you don't have to be the one getting married. So here's the thing: when I was just recently a groomsman, and like I said, Peter and Sharon's wedding, and they had requested that Lily be the flower girl.
Aww.
So Lily and her friend Hazel, they were the flower girls, and they are wild. Rehearsal in the rehearsal, they were climbing over the pews, they were running through the aisles, they were doing everything but throwing flowers. And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun.
This is the one job where you get to make a mess. What do you do?
Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining.
Why is it destroying the building?"
But here's the thing: I'm standing up there, and Lily starts walking down the aisle. And she's throwing the flowers perfectly. Her and Hazel were killing it. And I immediately burst into tears. I just started, I was so like proud of her, but also like imagining like she's going to get married. And then I got to like be okay with it. Like
it's a really strange like way we've set up what like a wedding looks like, of like giving your daughter to like the partner. Like
Yeah.
I walk you down and then I give her away.
Yeah.
Is a very we should that needs there needs to be a refresh. We need to take a second look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it needs to be like, I'm not giving her away.
You just stand
She's
next to the groom during the whole vows. You're just
I'm gonna
shoulder to
be
shoulder.
here.
Yeah, right.
I'm
I'm
looking
gonna
at you.
Biden my daughter
Yes.
for life.
You gotta think about it. You raise a kid for so long, they're like they're literally a part of you. And then some fucking weird dude is like, she lives with me now. I'm like, no. Whoa. You fucking
This is why you have to do the thing where you like buy a huge property and put some sick houses on there, and you're like, I give you this house.
Yeah, you
And
can
then
stay
you're
at
just
my
there
house.
with binoculars
Yeah.
from the main house, like, okay, they're in there, they're done. Great. Okay, we have to get back to this episode because
Yeah, Hannah, you're gonna be
before we
distracted.
get to the wedding,
Yeah.
forget all the stuff they talk about. Forget the really great Game of Thrones references. Winter's coming. That's become like a huge meme. Forget all the stuff. Forget how great and cool of an opening shot it was with Zoe on the bed. It looks like we're in a movie. Forget it. Because the funniest, weirdest, most confusing thing happens when your character from another room falls and then shouts,
I can't close my ass. Funny story. That was playing yesterday. I wasn't here. Someone was watching it. Kyle was watching it. And apparently Lily was in the room. I come home last night. And the nanny is telling me, "Oh yeah, Lily, she was trying to wait up for you to come home from work and blah blah blah." I said, "Oh, okay, well, she's in bed. Let me go and like lay down with her for a second." I lie down with her and she's half asleep and she leans over and she goes, "Daddy, can we watch you on TV? You can't close your eyes." And I was like, "What is she saying? I can't close my eyes?" She's like, "Remember you said I can't close my eyes?" And she's
Thank
just
God for
half
children.
asleep.
Thank God for children.
She's half asleep saying this to me, and I'm like, "Can't close my eyes." I said, "Were you watching Daddy on TV when I was gone?" And she says, "Uh-huh." And you say, "I can't close my eyes." And I was like, as soon as that happened, I was thinking back and I was like, oh. In my mind, I was like, I know what I said. I can't close my ass.
Oh
I'm so
my
thankful
God.
she
The innocence
didn't
of a child
realize.
saved you from a very difficult conversation,
Yes.
which you cannot avoid with me. What does it mean? I don't even
'Cause
know what that means.
he fell
Yeah.
and it split open.
There's already a split.
Even more.
It's a deeper, it go up the back.
Yeah, he might have
And
fallen
around the
on-
front.
He fell on a blade. No, you get stitches. I can't close my ass.
I don't
think
even,
this means
it's
he's sore.
Damon's reaction is the funniest reaction, his face he makes. Anyway, it caught me really off guard and it really made me laugh. All right, so then we're at the wedding. We
Mhm.
show up at this wedding. New Girl loves a wedding. We have so
Oh,
many
yeah.
weddings on the show. It's crazy. It's one a season at least.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think we've
There's
had
always a wedding.
this is our third wedding, right? Or fourth wedding?
I don't know. It's a
That's-
lot. It's
that's a lot
called The
of weddings.
Last Wedding. It is not.
This has probably been our fourth or fifth wedding.
Yeah, and they call it The Last Wedding because it's in the show. It's the last wedding of like the summer season. But for
Yeah.
our show, there were many more weddings to come.
Yes, 100%.
Really funny to watch Schmidt try to get Jess ready to
Mhm.
meet men because he grabs 2 cubes of ice to turn the headlights on.
Yes.
Wild. What a wild line to write.
Which was so strange. I was like, all right.
I love that she just hits his hand away and she's like, and now.
And I love the fact that when we're sitting there, and this happens from time to time, when you're bouncing around town, a waitress comes up to say hello to Coach, and then he introduces himself, completely forgetting that he already hooked up with her, and she throws a glass of wine on him, which I thought was
says-
too much.
The repeats, right? He's like, oh, I can't remember all the repeats.
Yeah, he's like, wedding season's almost over. All the repeats.
The repeats as and the fact that this wedding is like just wall to wall with every woman he's hooked up with every
Mhm.
summer at all the weddings. The
Oh, yeah.
photographer, this is the thing. He's going with people who work at the weddings. That's a mistake.
That's the problem. You can't do that. Everybody knows that. And
Yeah,
that's something
that's
I've learned at
wild.
a young age. You know,
At a young age with wedding sex behavior.
yeah, you got to keep it to the bride because you know she won't be getting married again anytime soon, so you won't see her at a wedding. Uh,
The bride. I'm going for the
or
bride.
the bride's mom. It's one of the two.
They make it seem that way with
Yeah.
one of the conversations that Coach has,
Oh
which is
yeah.
really funny.
um.
Um, ugh,
Yeah. Schmidt. So Schmidt clocks Cece arriving,
yeah.
which surprises him because he thought that she was in Australia. And
I feel like that was Trent dropping that in. He's like, "Can we get a shout out to Australia?" Trent
Oh,
O'Donnell is
100%.
Australian.
He is for
Being
sure.
like, "Can we just mention my home country,
My hometown. Uh,
hometown?"
yeah. And then Schmidt asked Nick how good he looks. How good Jewish? Is it good Jewish or bad Jewish?
He said,
Nick
"That
said,
feels like a trap."
feels like a trap. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, so
Um,
funny.
but Cece, well, Jess whispers to Cece that she hasn't told the boys that Cece broke up with Buster yet. She feels like it, she might have to tell Schmidt.
Yeah, but Schmidt should be near a hospital when he's told, so she's waiting for the right time.
100%.
Right.
100%. And then Nick tells Schmidt, that his obsession with Cece is not good for him, man. This is ridiculous. We got to figure this whole thing out. He's like, dude, you've been, Schmidt's been killing it. Schmidt's been killing it in the summer. He had sex with a bridesmaid on a 45-minute flight to San Jose. And he was in boarding group D and she was in boarding group B. How does that work? He's killing
You know
it.
me, I would genuinely actually have questions. I don't even know how that would work. How would you
Oh,
approach a stranger that's halfway up the thing and then get them like I genuinely don't understand like sex in a airplane bathroom because
Oh,
it's
you don't.
really small
Well, you got to know the angles. Yeah.
and it's very gross.
Yeah, you
It's
got
the most disgusting place
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
ever. Like just trains of people coming in there to anxiety poop.
Oh, yeah.
No
yeah,
one's
yeah.
washing their hands. They can't figure out all those weird taps and buttons and the thing, and then like the toilet that sucks your whole body in. Like that's where you're like, guess what?
Well, you gotta know yourself. And you gotta know angles like you gotta know angles like a mathematician. And that's something that I have. I possess I know myself, I know my body, and I know my angles. So all the times that I've done it in tight, like closed spaces, I once did it under a couch. I once I once did it in a drawer, a desk of a drawer. You know what I'm saying? So like if you know you and you know your capabilities, so I think Schmidt could have pulled
Shit.
it off.
The idea, the idea that you like board a plane with like a protractor and TSA is like, what's that for? You're like, sex, man.
What you think, baby?
Come on now. The angles.
What about the angles, bro?
I can't.
We go in.
Okay, wait. We're going to go to break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about the party trick dance that Cece teaches Jess on how to outwit Jessica Biel and where it came from on a little trip that I took with Liz Merriweather.
And we are back. You took a trip with who?
Liz Merriweather and I and you, the rest
I
of the
was there.
cast, we did a press tour in New York. We did something in New York. Or maybe it was after Upfronts. No,
Maybe
because
it
that
was
would have been years
Upfronts.
before. No, we were all in New York for
No,
something
we did
to do
upfronts
with
every
press.
year.
Oh, true. We did Upfronts every year. I forgot.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah. So I guess it was after Upfronts. We were all in New York. We all went to like a club. We all had a great time. It was super fun. We danced. It was great. And we were talking about dancing. And one of my best friends, Sabrina, lives in New York, who is one of the most beautiful women I think that's ever been created on planet Earth.
She all right.
She's gorgeous. And I remember when we were in school together and she would go and dance in the club and she would do this like everybody else is like dancing and kind of like moving to the and she would just do this like roll with her body and every man in that nightclub was just like now I don't know if it was the move or it was her or the combo of the two, but it was something that stopped everyone in their tracks. Men, women was just like, what is She's moving differently. And it was very sexy. And
Mhm.
so I remember talking to Liz about it just candidly. And I was like, I have this image. And then I showed Liz and she was like, put that all away. Oh my,
Mhm.
that is something. Forgot about it. Then I got this script for the season 4 premiere. And it's like, Hannah does that dance she does that she talked to me about. It's like in the script that
Oh
she did.
wow.
And then I remember Liz being like, because I was like, what sexy dance is this? And she's like, don't you remember? You told me the thing. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay, in front of all these people and the world, I will try to like remember the sexy dance that my 14-year-old sexy friend.
14? Oh
Yeah, I
God.
know.
Yo,
She had the
yeah.
moves. She was
Well,
like, no, we were probably 16. I'm exaggerating.
oh,
We were 16 years old.
that
But I
doesn't make
remember
it
she
any
could just
better.
dance.
Doesn't
And I
make
was
it
like,
any better.
whoa.
So she was Buster in the scenario, and all the old dudes looking were you.
They were all weird.
Yeah.
I was younger than her. Anyway, I
Oh.
just remember. So I remember doing that dance move, but I was like, oh my gosh. And it's the truth of the show. You had to be careful what you said and did around our writers and producers
Oh yeah.
because it could end up in the show, and that dance is one of them.
100%. That's why I've never told Liz about any of my sexy dances because I don't want to have to do them on TV. That's personal between me and the group of women that I do it for money.
Man, I get it. I made that mistake, and look at me now.
Let's chit chat a little bit about the best man, Reid Scott. He is delivering one hell of a hilarious speech, as the best man
Hilarious.
does. And everyone's like, hey, Jess, what about him? Why don't you go over there and sex fist that man? And she's like, really? Best man? No, he's like, sought after and blah, blah, blah. Go do it. And so
Well,
she
they say
goes,
he's like wedding royalty. Like the best man is like you're going for like the top dog
yeah,
at the. Is that true? I haven't been to a lot of weddings.
it is. The best man, numero uno.
Huh? Interesting.
Numero uno.
All right, so
the
it's
women,
true.
the women, they want him. They line up for him. I don't know why that is, but I've been the best man a few times. And let me tell you something. You got to sneak out the back door because they waiting for you.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
Beatlemania.
Oh my gosh, I feel like Justin Bieber out here. And so they walk up. She walks up to him, and then Kat intercepts, played by Jessica Biel.
One of the
She-
most beautiful women alive.
Oh my
Jessica
goodness.
Biel just walks up, and then the speech she gives of why she's a catch is so good
Oh
and
my gosh,
so
yeah.
funny. She lost her virginity to Malcolm Gladwell. Like, what is even happening in this speech?
She watches 30 minutes of porn every night just to stay up to date on the latest sex trends. She thinks missionaries coming back depends on what happens in Syria. Is that what she said? I mean, that is crazy. And she clearly thinks she's the best option for Ted.
Mm.
And so then they keep telling each other that they love each other's shoes. And
Oh yeah,
clearly,
because then it starts to get really pissed off of just
Yeah.
like, listen, don't try to button this with being nice to me. You've
Yeah.
declared war. So that little you're just getting pissed. Is
You ever done
so
something?
good.
You ever compete for somebody like this?
No, I'm too lazy to compete with somebody. Like,
Man, I feel like I'm competing with society to get the woman that I want. I just-
that's different.
It's so different.
Yeah.
No, but I'm taken now. So I'll tell you about it later. Your boy wifed up.
If
I'm-
this is true,
It's true. I'm off these streets. Hannah Simone, I'm off the streets.
what did I say? I said this year is
Yeah.
the year.
You said that?
Multiple times I have said
Oh.
that this year is the year.
Yeah, that I'm off these streets. I'm cleaning up my act. I'm cleaning it up. I'm running a tight ship here. I don't have room for that many more women. So
That many more. This is why you should be down to one to stay at one.
no, I'm polygamous.
Like, and I'm moving to Utah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So Jess asked the boys for help. She's trying to compete. That's not her thing. She don't really do all
She
that
asked
stuff.
Winston if guys still want an Oakland face with an LA booty.
In my mind, I was like, yup.
Sure. Your character gives, I think, the best advice in this scenario. And it is something I have thought about like for years, just as a be there thing, the Biden. It's real.
I don't know if that's real because upon further review, I don't know where Biden is. I haven't seen or heard from this man in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And I know he's dealing with some stuff, but I was like, I think
But he
about this
was
episode
there.
a lot. He was, but I think
Just
about this
doing his thing for a long time.
I was like, Biden, where he been? Sleepy Joe? Where you at, Joe? We miss you, Joe. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hope he's
Biden's
all
taking
right.
some time for Biden. He's been being there for everybody.
I know. I hope he's alive and well.
He's trying to be there for himself right now.
Him or his body double. I hope one of them are alive.
Oh my goodness, Lamorne. This is gonna be a different podcast. We're gonna have a whole segment called Lamorne's Conspiracy Theories.
I got a few.
I know, me too. All right, when we come back, we're gonna talk about perilousness on women.
What? And we are back. I personally have never gone completely hairless. Never. Not once.
That's great.
There's this, and I like to scape it up, man-wise, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like the outback in there. It's like the bush.
Can I just say that just if you think about a man manscaping, having to like crane his neck all the way down, like you're trying to bend like a giraffe going down for water.
Yeah.
Right. And then you've got like whatever scissors or a razor, and it's the most
scissors. Ain't nobody using those scissors down.
Whatever. I don't know what people do, but I'm just saying like the image is so awkward and uncomfortable in my brain. Like I don't want to know that anybody, like I'm happy that everybody does. That's great. It's wonderful. But like the image of like the hunched over thing just is too weird for my brain.
Hannah, you just hire a manscaper. What's wrong with you? I got a few people on the payroll. I got a pool guy, I got a landscaper, and I got a manscaper. Okay, all same person.
You're just yeah. When you're done the hedge, and you got the flowers. Come inside. You're just spread eagle on your bed, just waiting there, scrolling on your phone.
On your bed? Who gets manscaped on a bed?
No, you got a tarp down. I don't know what
It's the same way the ladies do it, Hannah. We go to the salon.
Go to the salon. I bet you that's actually true. That is actually probably true. Some people go to professional skate. I never thought of that. That's actually a job.
People do that.
Thanks to Jessica Biel for saying that crazy line and putting us on this insane tangent.
So, Coach, this is funny. Coach is apologizing to yet another wedding attendee for not calling her back. She asks, why is he so scared of intimacy? Cut to, another woman says he's arrogant, sexist, and stole her phone charger. Cut to, this is my favorite.
Best one.
Older lady saying, Coach lied to her about being in the movie Best Man Holiday.
And the best is you can see Damon's face because it's not like they told him it is going to be this respectable woman that's going to come and be next to you and say this line. She's going to be a little older than the other ones. And you're watching Damon's face try to hold it together because that kind of stuff to him is genuinely funny.
Oh, yeah. You are the best man.
He's dead. He's absolutely dead in that scene.
Shout out to the Best Man Holiday. Shout out to Malcolm Lee.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, which is the four-way that Schmidt really would like to do with Nick. He seems heavily invested in the fog of war.
Right before this happens, though, can we just talk quickly about what was the line that Schmidt said about the one girl who was, that happened right before this, right? Where he's pointing out two different women.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, look, she looks like the girl from the,
he's like, the beautiful one. She looks like the girl from the tennis commercials where they're selling tampons.
The tennis commercial while she's playing, looks like the girl who's in the commercial where she's playing tennis with a tampon inside.
That's right. This is true. They got the most beautiful women, and they were always wearing head to toe white.
Yeah,
and moving, just moving at a speed.
Let me tell you something. When it's that time of the month for me, I am not wearing white.
No, we are not.
We do not. No, we don't. Girl. Don't I know it?
No, gotta cancel the manscaper.
oh God. Okay, so now they're talking to these two girls who want to do what they call a four-way.
So open, by the way. I love a direct approach. These women were just like, so you guys want to go home with us? Great. We want to do a four-way. All of us together. You in.
Yeah.
And Schmidt is like, this is the greatest moment of my life. And then looks over and there is no Nick Miller. Just evaporated.
He's gone.
Gone.
He's gone. I've been there. You know, you're in an awkward situation. You know, it sounds on the surface cool.
Sure.
But you're smart enough. Your mind is 10 steps ahead, and you're like, this ain't going.
No.
This ain't what I want.
You'd be so. Going. What's the opposite of inhibited? Hibited.
You'd be hibited up.
So hibited. You'd be like, my hand is You know, it's like that planes, trains, and automobiles where he's like, oh, like I kept my hand in between two pillows. And he's like, those aren't two pillows. It's that. It's that moment or whatever of like, you'd be so hibited.
Yeah. You're like, who am I inside of? That's weird. Who's inside of me?
There's
Why
too
is there
many
a person
bodies.
inside of me? You know.
There's too many people.
Even though I think the Nick and Schmidt storyline, that's the real will they, won't they?
Sure.
And I think people were anxious to see what would have, I always said if we get a chance to do, record some more New Girl episodes, we got to make them for like HBO, make them for like Max, so we could just actually show true girls, like how they were showing stuff, like just get it in Schmidt and Nick, just go ahead.
I feel like if we did a reunion movie, like if we did a movie, it should be like White Lotus style.
Oh, let's call Mike White.
That's what I'm saying. We go, listen, you got the cast of New Girl. Make a movie.
Make it happen.
Get weird.
I think they got. I need 10 million.
That's where your mind first went. You're like,
it's got to. I need $10 million. 10.
Oh,
cool.
okay.
10 plus some back end. What you think?
Fair.
Favorite nations.
I think it's
we
fair.
all get 10. We all get 10.
Yeah, right. That's right. 10 across the board.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've worked out the deal, the terms, the conditions, the points, we can move on.
Yes, let's do that.
So Jess goes full Biden.
Full Biden, which
full
I don't
Biden.
think she did it right either. She did it awkwardly.
I don't know if there's a way to Biden in that situation without it being awkward. Because it felt like that Ted had made his choice.
But you know what I think? But what she could have done was just, and I've done this before too, where you just keep letting that person know that you're still there.
Sure.
Like you just walk past, put a hand on a chest.
Oh.
You could just, not me. I'm not.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is what you're.
You walk by, grope her. No.
Walk by,
put a hand.
Go to jail, come back.
Yeah. But then she'll know because she got to go press charges against you. So you're always
there. You've got a
there.
relationship. There's a dynamic there.
Now she's coming to see you in court, I think you just walk by, touch a shoulder. Hey, I'm going to the bar. You want something? I'll be back. Just keep walking past.
Kill him with kindness.
You just got to keep being there. It don't always work out, but the people it doesn't work out for, they're all nasty, nasty people.
This unfortunately goes all the way south and ends up with Jess sitting in a disgusting place, the men's toilet. She's
fact,
a toilet person.
Fun fact: women's restrooms, I hear, are far worse than men's.
No, there's no way.
That's what I've heard.
Women's are either, I will say this, it's like a 0 or a 10. Like you never go in and it's slightly disgusting. Either it's like, bye, you gotta go, or it's like, oh, a bunch of like normal women use this stall and it's fine. I don't think that men's bathrooms, I think it lives between an 8 and a 10 for all of them.
No, I've been in some pretty clean bathrooms before. It depends on where you are.
You're not pooping in public bathrooms.
Airport lounge? Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's different. They probably have someone coming in cleaning it an airport lounge.
Yeah, when you're in the lounge at the airport.
Go to the bathroom by the gate.
No, I don't do that.
That's
good.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't go to the gate bathroom. What's wrong with you?
That's what I'm trying to say to you. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to get back to the foursome.
Okay.
Because Winston just, what the heck, man? The demonstration.
Yeah.
I remember you trying to figure out how to do it to make it uncomfortable. I do remember there was a conversation of like, how do you make the bit, right, just from the casual knocking work? I remember there was like a little chat around that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we did it a few times where you have to make it. And I think that came from my reaction. The goal of making it really uncomfortable and awkward and weird and disgusting. I was playing with it like, oh, wow, how'd that get in there? It's all shoved in there. Like I'm improvising a lot of that. Well, all of it for the most part. So you have to just keep adding disgusting things, little innuendos, so they know that that's what's going to happen to them.
Sure.
No
way to not get the salt and the pepper. Yeah, Nick has disappeared himself. He's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not interested. There's no way. Before the whole Winston thing happens, I'm out. And then he bumps into Cece at the bar. And Cece goes, I'm also single. And kind of going through it and trying to figure myself out. And then he's like,
yeah, now
because
I gotta go do it.
If Schmidt knows that, we're all back in this CC Schmidt disaster where he's hyper obsessed over you, and then it's insane to live with. So now I've got to go and have a foursome.
Yes.
I have to go do this thing for my friend because you just told me you're single, which is such Nick Miller thinking. It's crazy. So he goes back. Winston does the worst live demo of all time.
Yes, he does the salt in the pepper hole, etc.
Salt in the pepper hole. So Nick can't do it again, and he goes to hide in the bathroom. But of course, in true New Girl fashion, there's always someone hiding in the bathroom at a party.
That's right.
We've done this bit many times before. And there is Jess, where she's like, look, I guess there's fridge people and there's toilet people. I'm a toilet person.
She's clearly a toilet person. Which sounds bad, but it's accurate.
And then he's like, just be yourself. Just be yourself. And she's like, really be myself? Like, do my like Tina Turner impression? Then she sings one of the greatest songs of all time.
On the wings of love. Wait, what was the song?
What's love got to do?
Well, love was in there.
Yeah, that's all. And then he's like, I kind of get it. And then she says, well, and he says, look, none of us are closing tonight. So the sex fist has become
the sex finger.
The sex finger.
Which is gross. Where are we right now? I think we've been bouncing around.
We're near the end because then Jess goes to Ted and she's like, look, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to tell you all the weird things about me, but those are the things that make me me. And she just like, bleh. She goes down the list and says all of her things. Her first crush was on a Batman cake. Okay.
Yeah.
Teenage Simba awoken her sexually.
And then
Jessica Biel
just shows up here's a photo of me naked.
I like how that camera is like not even.
Yeah.
It's at the elbow of Jessica Biel because
I wonder how many people were watching it. How many guys were watching it going like, move the camera.
I know, they're just like, did they know? Writing the email to us. Can you just check with the director? Did he know if he panned left? The show would have gotten better.
I love how Jess breaks out her phone and goes, this is a photo of me with a guy she thought was Larry King.
That's your big celebrity brag.
But what's funny though is after all that, he still can't make up his mind.
You know what? I heard there's a term for this.
What?
There's a term for this in the board game world. In these like fantasy board game worlds. And it's called analysis paralysis.
Oh.
Where you could do this move, but then this is or that move, but then that, and then you just get trapped, paralyzed, analyzing your two options. And you just like the whole game starts to suck because one person is like for 45 minutes just like going through the thing. And that is just what Ted is doing. It's so annoying, which is so great because then the women are like, I don't even know why you're still like humming and hawing, bro. Like the moment is past. We are like, we've both got full ick now. Bye-bye. And then Biel grabs the pastor. She always has plan B.
And I love the fact that he kept trying to pretend as if this doesn't happen all the time. Where do you live? She's like 2 inches above your mouth.
I can't. Very funny. Very quick.
Yeah.
Paralysis or analysis
Paralysis. I think I suffer from that.
Me too.
100%.
I definitely
100%.
get stuck in a spot where I'm like, I don't know. You could go left, but then you could go right.
Yeah,
what about left?
That was Schmidt with Elizabeth and Cece.
That's right.
That's
Analysis paralysis, you guys. Welcome to the new term I'm bringing into the season 4 recaps. Then we go back to the place where you want to see him, which is the loft.
That's right. They're in the loft. Jess is at the refrigerator, and she's just throwing away all these wedding invites.
Yeah.
Coach grabs one and says, they should share his chocolate pocket. It's like, what is that? It's my butt. Chocolate pocket.
I can't. It feels like that's the bookend for this episode because it starts with you saying you can't close your ass, and it ends with Damon's chocolate pocket.
Chocolate pocket. Mm-hmm.
I like that they took a real big dig at Cece and Shivrang's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Needed, necessary. Finally,
100%.
Chuck that one out the window.
Yeah. And then they all bond over ripping up wedding invites.
I loved it. I love that big group shot at the end where they're just slowly pulling away. And there's no, like, we just got to, like, all be ourselves in that moment and walk around and we're laughing and showing each other the invites. And those are the moments our friendship was so well formed and we were so bonded, like, outside of our characters, just in our real lives. And those moments where they would just kind of let us do our thing while they, they're like, just walk around and laugh and talk to each other. And then it makes it to TV is really sweet. It was a sweet way to end the premiere of season 4.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. All right. Well, let's take a little break, a little siesta, and then when we come back, I feel like messing around a little bit. And we are back. Babe.
Yeah, babe.
What's the most weddings you've gone to? Are we a big fan of weddings or smaller ones? We've already talked about this. That you haven't been to many. You've been to 3.
I've not been to many, but I would say I would probably, thinking about it, be a fan of bigger weddings. Because then you can like Irish goodbye. All you have to do then is get FaceTime with the bride and groom. I love you so much. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Kisses. And then you can like fade away.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. When there's so many people there. Yeah, when there's so many people there and if you feel like leaving, no one's going to miss you.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Smaller wedding, it's like, you'll know. One person leaves the room and the place is half empty. You're like, where'd the groom go?
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like that. But that being said, if someone super, super, super close was getting married to me and they're like, we're inviting 5 people and I didn't get invited, I will be sad. So, I want it both ways.
What do you remember about Jessica Biel on the show? She crushed it. What do you remember?
Honestly, that she's one of the nicest people I think I've ever met. And I think Jessica Biel and JJ are friends, right? I think that they
Bill Purple. Bill
Purple
Purple is because just like JT is his best friend or one of his best friends, so they're always together and doing couple-y stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple connection points to Jessica Biel, which is how, by the way, we got so many of the amazing like directors and guest stars. It was like personal relationships, people calling people to be on their show or to be on the show, and so I think that was a very friendly favor she did coming on. And I think it was fun for her to do like a weird comedy and to not be like, the sweet girl next door.
Yeah.
I think was really fun for her. But she was so kind. She was so kind and so wonderful. And I think we we had her for 2 days.
Yeah,
We got her stuff done.
she's not. She's married to Justin Timberlake still, right?
Yeah.
Didn't change her last name.
I don't know. For
I wonder-
performance-wise, I think it's still
Performance-wise.
Biel.
Yeah, you have to keep it Biel.
Yeah.
I was
But
just
maybe her
curious.
legal name. I don't know.
Jessica Timberlake. I like Biel
Yeah.
better.
2 JTs.
2 JTs. Yeah, I remember she remembered. So I had met her years prior to this at some musician. This guy, why am I forgetting his name? Music producer. He had been producing songs for Justin,
Oh.
and there was like a little birthday party that they were having at a hotel, and they came by. Justin and Jessica came by, say hello. We all took a group photo together. Super nice. And I said, "Oh, I met you at such and such's birthday." She's like, "Oh my God, yes!" And she remembered. She's like, "We took that photo," and I was like, "Yeah." But this is before I'd been on television. This is before New Girl, and I was actually shocked that she remembered that particular party. Don't worry, Diddy was not in attendance. Was not that kind of party. But yeah, anyway, so I just thought that was super nice of her, even if she was just lying.
No, she's sweet. She's super sweet and down to earth and lovely. And it's funny. I know a lot of people that are entertainment reporters, so they interview people all day, nonstop, and often multiple times, right?
Mhm.
Because work and they work again. And everybody says that about Jessica Biel, that she's just super sweet and kind when she walks in the room and is just so down to earth. And yeah, working with her was great. And she crushed this.
Crushed.
Yeah. You could tell she enjoyed it, which is also nice. That always translates, I feel like, through the screen.
Yeah. People tend to enjoy the time on our show. We have a lot of fun there. The writers really cater to the guest stars as well.
True.
And so, yeah. And we like catering to you guys all at home watching and listening. We appreciate you. Last Wedding, great episode. Yeah, thank you for listening. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on IG at the Mess Around Pod. Hannah rocking that merch as always. I'm
always
thoroughly convinced that's the only item of clothing she owns.
I've been wearing my toque. The Mess Around toque. Yeah.
I don't have a Mess Around toque.
Oh, it's so good and cozy.
What do you mean it's so good? How come I don't
warm.
have one?
Yeah, I don't know. Go buy one on the website. Go.
Is
Go
that,
to
is that you didn't buy one?
themessaroundpod.com. I didn't buy one.
Yeah.
It is so cozy.
Whatever,
I'll wear it
bruh.
next episode.
Whatever, bro. I need one.
All right. I'll get you one.
Love you guys. Peace.
Bye. That was The Mess Around, an iHeartMedia production.
Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our senior producer is Abu Zafar. Bei Wang provided engineering and editing services.
Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson.
Catch you next time.
Bye.